UFC Vegas 102 Cannonier versus Obama is this weekend. Um, it's a pretty good fight card, especially for an Apex card. They usually do a pretty bad job of putting these cards together, but this one's actually better than a lot of the other Apex cards I've seen. I don't know what is this hanging off the set. It's just lint, guys. Chill. Um, yeah, Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. Gregory Rodrigues is getting his jump into the rankings, and I'm going to break down the card as well as give my predictions. I went 9-2 last week, 30-19 overall, so we're getting back, right? We're over that 60% hump again. And let's just get right into it. Julia Avila versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. This is an easy one. I think pretty highly of Jacqueline Cavalcanti, actually. I think she's getting much better in her fights consistently. She's 27 years old. Julia Avila's 36. And Jacqueline Cavalcanti does a really good job of fighting while backing up, and her kickboxing's pretty good for MMA specifically. Julia Avila really just doesn't impress me at all. Like, she's kind of shit. I'm going to be real. That's why she's such a big underdog. Like, she got subbed by Misha Tate in the easiest pick I've ever made in my life. She subbed Julia Stoliarenko, but it took her to round 3. Like, again, nothing crazy. Lost to Sajara Eubanks. Like, dude, her last decent win was Pani Kianzad in 2019, and that's, again, we're looking at 5.5 years ago now. I mean, she's old as shit. Let's just say it how it is, dude. I just don't think she's putting that much time into the training. So, I'm going Jacqueline Cavalcanti here. I think she gets this done very easily. I think she might even find a finish in this fight. Now, if it gets to the ground, I do have a little bit of a... I'm a little nervous about the submission threat, but you know what? I just don't see it getting to the ground. Like, Julia Avila is not good at getting it to the ground, and I'm assuming Jacqueline Cavalcanti is just going to be able to beat her up. I can see a finish. I really can. I'm going to say a knockout by Jacqueline Cavalcanti in one of the later rounds here, maybe round 2 or 3, late round 2 finish, early round 3 finish. I'm going Jacqueline Cavalcanti knockout. That's crazy to think that in women's bantamweight I'm picking a knockout, but I'm doing it. Cavalcanti gets it done. I think low kicks might be the way it gets done, or a body shot. I could definitely see a body shot being what ends it. Dontel Mays, number 14th ranked heavyweight in the world at 11-7, coming off, dare I say, back-to-back losses? No. He beat Caio Machado. Ugly fight with Caio Machado. Lost to Shamil the Blob Gaziev. Lost to Rodrigo Nascimento, beat Arlovsky, lost to Sakai. Like, this is our number 14th ranked heavyweight. Dontel sucks balls Mays. I mean, come on, dude. How is he ranked 14, man? And I'm wondering, like, I always pick the Dontel Mays fights right. I literally always get them right. And I'm going to go with Walter Walker here. I just think the grappling threat Walter Walker is there. He does not miss on double legs. He gets the takedowns he shoots for. He is a submission threat. Like, he will go for a submission, and I was very impressed with his fight IQ in the last fight, is because we all look and we're like, dude, heel hooks don't fucking work. Don't go for them. But when he's having a round with Junior Tafa where he's kind of dominating in the grappling and it's so slow and it's smudgy, last 10 seconds, go for the Hail Mary submission. You already won the round. You might as well try and get the finish, and that's what he did against Junior Tafa. No, I think Junior Tafa is much more dangerous on the feet. I just don't think he's as durable as Dontel Mays. I also don't think that Junior Tafa is as gritty as Dontel Mays, I guess also. I don't think he'll stick in there late in the fight. I don't think he has the cardio. I also don't think he has the takedown defense that Dontel Mays has. Granted, I don't think Dontel Mays' takedown defense is the greatest. I don't think it's that good at all. It's better than Junior Tafa's. But I don't see Walter Walker struggling to get this to the ground. Dontel Mays has an insane reach. They're both really big dudes. I just see Walter Walker getting better, and he's younger, dude. He's going to add new stuff to his game every time. I can see him as a guy that's going into the gym to consistently improve and get better. And that's what I think we're going to see here. I think we're going to see Walter Walker level his game up. I do think we see a shitty, boring decision here, but I think Walter Walker is going to be able to get it done and find himself ranked at the end of this fight at number 14. So I'm going Walter Walker to beat Dontel Mays by decision. Just think he's going to bring more to the game. I think you might see some crazy kicks from him. I really do think he might implement some of his kicking game here. We haven't seen it much so far, but I think he might use some of the kicks in this fight. I think he's going to be lighter and more athletic in this fight. than Dontel Mays, and I give him the grappling prowess as well. So I'm going to go with Walter Walker. He had his loss to Lucas Bursky, but he came back and he beat Junior Taffa very easily. So I think he's now got some momentum where Dontel Mays is coming off a loss to Shamil Gaziev, who kind of laid out the groundwork that all you really need to do is lay and pray on Dontel Mays. He's going to struggle to get back up. Walter Walker decision. Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. I'm going to go with the underdog pick of Vince Morales here, dude. I think Vince Morales has looked better in his fights recently. Granted, he lost to Taylor Lapulus, but, it's Taylor Lapulus. Taylor Lapulus is pretty good. He is. And Vince Morales went on a good win streak to get back into the UFC. I think when I look at Elijah Smith, he's young, little inexperienced, does have some danger, but I was not impressed in the slightest with his Contender Series performance. I think the guy he fought was terrible. Some face-tatted Aussie guy, and he took him to a decision and lost a round. I think Vince Morales can take this into deep waters and win this fight by decision, winning rounds 2 and 3. I think Elijah Smith can get his grappling going early, but I think Vince Morales is a guy that has good cardio, doesn't quit on himself in the fight. He's durable, he can take damage. And just looking at Vince Morales' career, he beat Hunter Azor, which is not a terrible win. It's a good win, and he submitted him. He's got a grappling game. He submitted Guerrero here. Don't even know who Guerrero is. I'm not going to fucking pretend I do. Decision with Matoya. Don't know who that is, but it was in Ryzen, so not bad. KO. So this is his streak outside the UFC. He lost to Lapulus by decision. A lot of people lose to Lapulus by decision. He's got a grappling game, so I honestly can see Elijah Smith shooting a bad takedown, him chucking up a guillotine. But the other guys he lost to, Miles Johns, it's not a great loss, but it's better than Elijah Smith, I'm going to be honest. Jonathan Martinez, that's a very, very good fighter, and he went to decision. He's not someone that gets finished. I get he got finished by Gutierrez in 2020. I don't remember what the KO was, though. It might have been leg kicks. I actually think it was a leg kick KO, and Elijah Smith ain't blasting leg kicks like Chris Gutierrez. I can promise you that. But look at the comp he's fought, dude. Song Yadong. Ayman Zahabi. He has a win over Ayman Zahabi. Benito Lopez, but he fought the guy like Chris Gutierrez, beat Draco Rodriguez, beat Louis Smolka. Then he lost to Jonathan Martinez and Miles Johns. Then he gets cut, goes on a 5-fight win streak, winning a belt in the UFL, and then comes back and loses in France to Taylor Lapulus. Let's be real, that going to a decision, he was never going to get it anyway, but at the end of the day, he lost that fight crystal clear. Elijah Smith had a absolutely underwhelming, mild performance against Aaron Tao in his last fight. And I just don't think this Tao guy's that good when I look at this fight. Elijah Smith was able to grapple a little bit early, but then the grappling was completely thwarted as the fight went on. He went for a lot of takedowns, got some, but wasn't able to hold him down there. I think he's going to struggle to hold down Vince Morales. I think he's going to actually struggle in the later rounds to get him down. So I can see in the first round him landing an overhand, getting a takedown, having the takedown for about 2 minutes. Vince Morales is playing the jiu-jitsu game, realize that isn't working, getting back to the feet. Elijah Smith shoots again. Maybe it gets almost sprawled a little bit by Vince Morales. He maybe threatens with a guillotine to get Elijah Smith out of there, and then it stays on the feet. And if this fight stays on the feet, I don't think Elijah Smith is that good in the striking. I really don't. He's got a little bit of pop, yeah, but I don't think it's as technical. I think Vince Morales is a very tough guy to knock out, and he's going to stay in there, walk forward at you the whole time. I don't think Elijah Smith utilizes his low kicks well. I think Vince Morales is going to be able to break him in the second and third round and win a decision here based off of rounds 2 and 3. So I'm going Vince Morales decision. Underdog right there. Gabriel Bonfim versus Chaos Williams now. Chaos Williams' boxing and his striking is far superior to Gabriel Bonfim's. I think Gabriel Bonfim knows that. And I think Chaos Williams has looked decent in the takedown defense against nothing crazy. Dude, I thought he lost to Bedoya in this fight. I'm going to be real. Carlston Harris is an idiot and didn't shoot the takedown at all. He got knocked out so early. Let me see. Was this a co-main? Yeah. Dude. Carlston Harris thought he was going to strike with Chaos Williams and got knocked out. Idiot. He's not fighting guys that are threatening takedowns. Randy Brown isn't threatening him with a takedown. Miguel Baeza did knock him out. Smelly Burger took him down. This fight was, what was it, Zombie versus Ige? Let's go back into looking at this one. Oh no, he beat Smelly Burger. Smelly Burger decided not to shoot any takedown. Dude, so when people don't shoot takedowns, they lose to Chaos Williams. Gabriel Bonfim is going to shoot takedowns. He's going to stand in there, and he's probably going to try and throw some strikes, but I think he knows that the danger in Chaos Williams is in the striking, and I do worry a little bit about the cardio of Gabriel Bonfim, but I think he's taken a lot of time off. He's now coming off a win again here, and he lost to Nicholas Dalby. No shame in that, honestly. But then he dominates Angelusa, dominates and out-grapples the bejesus out of him, and I think Angelusa's takedown defense is a little bit better than Chaos Williams. Then he also stood on the feet a little bit with Angelusa. God, this was such a bad card. Oh, he didn't fucking... Oh, he was playing the jiu-jitsu game here too. Dude, maybe Gabriel Bonfim is dumb enough to not grapple. But he did significantly outstrike Angelusa. Angelusa just doesn't have the technical striking that Chaos Williams does. Not that Chaos Williams is overly technical, but he throws straight punches and he can knock people out. There is a knockdown threat here, but I actually think Gabriel Bonfim is going to use his grappling. I think he's going to strike a little bit, may get caught with something that he goes, oh, fuck, I don't really want to stay on the feet anymore, and is able to get to the takedown. And if he doesn't get the takedown, I can see him able to transition to the back very quickly and just backs it and get a rear naked choke. So I am going to go with a submission here from Gabriel Bonfim. Round 1, rear naked choke. I'm going Gabriel Bonfim. Moving on, Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Aguilar. Rafael Estevam is one of those guys that does a very good job of executing his takedown and his grappling threat. I do think that Jesus Aguilar can be tricky to take down, but I think you're going to see Estevam be able to use his striking a little bit on the outsides. He has the height, the size, and the reach advantage. I just see Rafael Estevam being able to blast a lot of those low kicks. Jesus Aguilar unable to reach Estevam with his jab, trying to wing some overhands that Estevam gets out of the way of, and being able to get out of the way and get to the back very quickly and maybe lock up a choke here too. I can see another submission. I can see maybe an arm. Jesus Aguilar is a hard guy to keep on his back. He's one that you usually take the back of. I can see another rear naked choke here. Round 1, round 2. I'm going to go round 2 rear naked choke. You know what? I'm going to pick Rafael Estevam to win a decision. I think he's just going to out-grapple Jesus Aguilar, be able to kind of float on top of him and not let him up when he's down. I don't think he's going to be one to shoot a bad takedown where Aguilar is going to get just a bullshit guillotine. And I think he's going to outstrike Jesus Aguilar too. I think he's going to stay out of the way of that right hand, and I think he's going to blast a lot of those low kicks and use the jab to keep his range. I'm going Rafael Estevam, decision. Moving on, Jared Gordon versus Mashor Ruzaboyev. I don't know anything about this Ruzaboyev guy, but I know Jared Gordon, and I know I watched him beat Nasrat Haqparast in his last fight and get robbed. I'm going to pick Jared Gordon. There's always a chance he gets robbed, but I'm going to pick Jared Gordon to win a decision here. He's very good. Oh, fuck. This guy's got 2 first-round knockouts in the weirdest fighting league I've never even... Open Fighting Championship? I've never seen that. 2 first-round knockouts very, very early. Has a guillotine submission 18 seconds in, so someone shot a takedown, he snatched up a guillotine immediately. This guy's kind of a finisher. Let's see the level of these opponents. We're going to do this together right now. Oh, he's one of these guys. 0-2 Kyrgyzstani. 0-2 Brazilian. Those are his knockouts in the first round. This guy he went to decision with. 0-1. Yeah. This guy is not beating Jared Gordon. I don't fucking care what he looks like, what his flag is. I don't give a fuck. Jared Gordon's a very good fighter. And let's go back and look at Jared Gordon's record here, because it says 20-7, but that's 22-5, because he beat Nasrat Haqparast clearly. He beat Paddy Pimblett clearly. He was causing problems for Bobby Green on the feet as well, so that was another win he could have possibly ended up getting. I am going with Jared Gordon to absolutely school this guy. I'm actually picking a finish in the late rounds. round two knockout Jared Gordon, late round two. I see him in round one staying away from the danger early, using his grappling to tire out Ruzaboyev. And I think in round two, he's just going to be able to put a pace on him and stay out of the way of the knockout shot and then land a knockout shot of his own. I think he's going to be able to go up against the fence, kind of press him in the clinch, land good body shots, elbows up top, separate left hook, right hand, and finish Ruzaboyev. Round two knockout Jared Gordon. There's no way this guy fucking beats him, dude. He's beaten nobody on the scene. Nobody. You're not beating Jared Gordon, who is 22-5 in my eyes. Moving on. You know I always pick Angela Hill, guys. I literally pick her all the time because I think she's technically more sound than most fighters in this division. I also think her record is another fraudulent one where she has won a lot of these fights where it says she beat Tabitha Ricci. I think she got her ass beat by Mackenzie Dern, I'm not going to lie. She beat Tabitha Ricci, though. I thought she beat Lemos, and I know she beat Pennington. I do know that for a fact. So again, you're looking at a 20-11 record here. A lot of close fights. Fought the best of the best. She beat a Denise Gomes who's got pop. She beat a Luana Pinheiro who has no cardio. But I seen Ketlin Souza in that last fight, dude. I don't think Angela Hill's going to be able to grapple her way out of this one. I think Ketlin she's short, she's stocky, she's got a very good frame for being able to stuff takedowns. And if this is on the feet, I think Ketlin Souza can put a lot of people out. Listen, Yasmin Uregui is the kind of woman to do what Angela Hill did, but do it faster and do it better. Great technical striking, Muay Thai, quick, straight punches, hooks, combinations stringing together, low kicks, all of it. Ketlin Souza eats those punches for breakfast and fucking sends hooks back at you to knock you out. She ended up actually submitting Yasmin Uregui, but I think she got a knockdown and then jumped on the submission. I'm going to trust Ketlin Souza's grappling here. I'm going to trust Ketlin Souza's power here. I think in the UFC, yeah, she lost by sub to Karine Silva. Karine Silva's pretty fucking good. And if I remember correctly, look at this, robbery of all robberies, dude. Fucking stupid. If I remember correctly, by other luck, I thought it was one of those things where she got, I don't know what, I don't remember the submission then, maybe. Listen, Karine Silva's good. She got the flash submission in 1:45 seconds. Then this girl beat up Marnik Man. Then she goes out there and subs Yasmin Uregui, clearly getting better as fights go on, has a lot of power. She's 30 years old. Angela Hill's 40. I think Ketlin Souza has enough pop to get a knockout here. I'm going to go with a round one knockout from Ketlin Souza. I think she's got pop, and if it gets to the ground, she could get a submission, but I'm picking Ketlin Souza to win this fight, and I'm picking by finish. I'm going to go round one knockout. Moving on. And that's a pick-em pick, right? So we have, you know what I'm about to do if I'm checking for underdogs, right? One for Vince Morales. Then we've gone all favorites, but pick them. Okay, Ketlin Souza. I'm taking Connor Matthews. This is a lot of people aren't going to like this pick. You're from Boston. You're going to cheer for the New England Cartel guy. First of all, yes. But I actually think Connor Matthews does a lot of things well, where Jose Delgado is very green. I think he's frail. I don't like the way his body's shaped for fighting. And when I went back and watched his Contender Series fight today, it wasn't as impressive as you think. His hand, he throws combinations and then he immediately drops his hands. And I think Connor Matthews knows what to do in that sort of a game plan where he's able to throw a bunch of different kinds of strikes. He's able to mix up grappling. Yes, Jose Delgado can kind of grapple. And he's got great knees in the clinch. Great step-in knees, good elbows, stuff like that. I think Connor Matthews is a lot more technical. He may not be the most talented fighter on the roster, as we know. He got knocked out by Bazookia in round 3, but he had moments where he was having some success in that fight. He actually made it pretty close with Bazookia until he got knocked out. Bazookia is talented, and Bazookia does have a great right hand. Delgado doesn't have the pop in his hands that they were talking that he had on the Contender Series, not from what I saw. He does throw a lot of volume, a lot of combinations, has great cardio, but Connor Matthews is pretty good cardio as well. He throws good combinations. He can mix up the grappling very well. And Jose Delgado's hands go down, and I think Connor Matthews is one of those guys that is going to have the ability to game plan here and be able to find a way to beat Jose Delgado. I'm going to go with Connor Matthews to win a 29-28 decision. Maybe a split that a judge just sees it wrong and gives it to Delgado because he's the younger guy, the newer guy, the one that the UFC probably wants to win. But I'm going Connor Matthews. I think he wins this fight by decision here. And I can absolutely see a robbery coming in for Jose Delgado. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to pick Connor Matthews. I think he gets it done 29-28. Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. I'm going to go with Rodolfo Vieira. I think Andre Petroski's shit. It's really that simple. Yes, I always pick wrestling to dominate jiu-jitsu, but I actually think Rodolfo Vieira has good enough jiu-jitsu to get Andre Petroski off him. And I think Andre Petroski doesn't do anything when he's actually in a certain position. I think Rodolfo Vieira is levels above him in the grapple. Yes, Andre Petroski is going to probably be able to out-wrestle, but I honestly think Vieira is going to be able to either get back to the feet or throw up enough submissions and be active enough in his guard, and eventually reverse position to where he's going to be in dominant position. And if he's in dominant position, if he's in top mount against Andre Petroski, I don't think Petroski has the ability to actually get back to his feet. I don't think he has the ability to get Vieira out of there. I'm going to go with Rodolfo Vieira to win this fight by decision. I think he's just going to be able to out-grapple Petroski. I think Petroski's shit. I think Petroski's striking is fucking terrible. He beat Dylan Butka, but he looked fucking terrible doing it. Where Vieira goes out there and he has these fights with these guys and he just dominates in the grappling. Subbed Petrosian, that's a great win. Subbed Brunges, it's a good win. Lost to Chris Curtis, you're not taking Chris Curtis down, pal. But he didn't get knocked out. He got subbed by Anthony Hernandez, but like, dude, it's Anthony Hernandez. He fucking melted him, and that was a crazy performance. Dustin Soltus, he subbed like... You know what I'm thinking is Rodolfo Vieira doesn't really win decisions, and he's beating guys that I think are better than Petroski. I'm going to go with the submission Rodolfo Vieira. Fuck it, dude. Fuck it. Andre Petroski shoots a bad takedown in round 1 and gets gillied. Rodolfo Vieira submission round 1 guillotine. Fuck it. Moving on. I'm going another underdog pick. It's not all peaches and cream for fucking the Bonfim brothers because Nazim Sadakov's going to get it done. I think Nazim Sadakov's very good. He's tough, good grappler, good striking. Bonfim is decent grappling too, but he's more of a striker. But he's kind of out there winning decisions against Vic Pichel where Nazim Sadakov's going to war with Slava. And granted, he went to war with Slava. He almost knocked him out cold. It's just Slava had 2 rounds where he hit flow state and Nazim said, you know what, fuck it, let's bang. And Nazim went out there and they fucking swung. I like that. I respect the shit out of that. And I actually think Nazim Sadakov's a lot better than he gets credit for. I think Ismail Bonfim may have some tough time with the southpaws here. I'm going Nazim Sadakov, dude. I think he's a better grappler than Ismail Bonfim, and I expect to see him implement that a little bit. But he also trains out of a better gym. I think the Serra-Longo gym has a lot going for them right now. Serrato MMA is like, it's honestly a solid gym, but I don't think it's a Serra-Longo. Right? This guy's training with Aljamain Sterling, occasionally Marab when Marab's there, which is pretty frequently. This guy beat Evan Elder, who I think's very, very good. He subbed Terrence McKinney. Now Ismail Bonfim also knocked out Terrence McKinney, but like they both had second round wins over him. Then he goes to a decision with Barshev, a draw with Barshev. Whereas Ismail Bonfim kind of pieces up a 40-year-old Vic Pichel on the outside and has moments where Vic Pichel's able to land. I think Sadakov's got more power. I think he's going to be able to get it done. I'm going to go with Nazim Sadakov to win a decision here. I think he's better. I just think he's an overall better fighter, so I'm going Nazim Sadakov. Moving on. I don't get how Dylan Budka's on a main card, but I guess they're paying Petrosian enough where anyone he fights is going to need to be on the main card. I'm picking Petrosian. Simple enough. I don't think Dylan Budka's good at all. I don't think his wrestling is that good where he can actually implement it at all. And he's tried to do more with his striking, but if you're going to stand on the feet with Edmund Shabazian the whole time, you're going to try shooting takedowns. I don't think you're getting them on him. You're no Gerald Mearshart, right? You're not gonna have a cardio comeback victory, or you don't have good enough jiu-jitsu to pass to a fucking arm triangle. I think Edmund Shabazian beats his ass. I think we're gonna see an Edmund Shabazian KO in round 1. There's gonna be some fucking finishes on this card. I'm going Edmund Shabazian round 1 KO. Think he's gonna land a... Honestly, I can see him landing a really good clinch knee with a bad takedown from Dylan Budka, where Budka takes down, Edmund Shabazian gets underhooks, switches to the tie clinch, and blasts a knee up the middle that knocks out Dylan Budka. Dylan Budka gets cut at the end of this fight, and his UFC career is over. I'm going Edmund Shabazian round 1 KO. Yusuf Zalal versus Calvin Kattar. Now, you guys know how I feel about Yusuf Zalal as a prospect, dude. I think this guy's legit as fuck. I think he's going to be in the top 5 damn soon. I think he can even challenge for a title one day. He might even be able to win a title one day with how good he's looking, how active he's been, how much better he has consistently gotten. Calvin Kattar's a really tough test. Now, one of the other reasons I'm picking Connor Matthews is he's training with Calvin Kattar at New England Cartel going into this. So he's training with better competition. But I think we saw in the last, and granted, Aljo is a tremendous grappler, but we saw in the last fight, I don't think Kattar's knees are good enough to support a heavy grappling attack from very good. Don't get me wrong, if it's Josh Emmett shooting a blast double only, Calvin Kattar's not getting taken down. Right? If these guys are just going to shoot blast doubles on him, Calvin Kattar's not getting taken down. But if you're going to see like an Aljo be able to transition to the back and drag him down, or be able to grapple against the fence and kick the legs out and trip him down, that's what I can see Yusuf Zalal do, and Yusuf Zalal does a really good job of getting to the back. Now, Calvin Kattar's hard to submit, but I think that when you see Yusuf Zalal fight Calvin Kattar, it's going to be very similar to the Aljo performance with a little bit more on the feet. Now, Calvin Kattar is better than Yusuf Zalal on the feet, in my opinion. His boxing is tremendous. His pressure is tremendous. His chin is the best of the best. But I think Yusuf Zalal is going to be able to use his range a little bit, blast some low kicks on that heavy lead leg of Calvin Kattar, follow up with a jab to the face, jab, jab. Calvin Kattar starts coming downhill. He's changing levels, shooting for a takedown. Maybe he doesn't get it, but he's got Kattar now thinking about it, where he's able to feint the takedown, throw the right hand up top. I like the way Yusuf Zalal mix up his weapons. I like his striking. I like his grappling. I think he's going to be able to get it done by decision here. I'm going Yusuf Zalal, a ranked decision win, finds himself in the rankings at the end of this. I like Calvin Kattar a lot. This is a really fucking tough matchup to put him against. Really, really tough. And if it goes to decision, I'm going to be real. The UFC probably doesn't want a 36-year-old that isn't going to be making a title run in their rankings. Probably not. So if it's even close, the UFC always gets what they want. They'll give it to Zalal, but I'm not taking that away. I think Yusuf Zalal is going to do enough to get it done. I like Calvin Kattar a lot. I like him a lot. He does content with some of the kids that I know from East Boston. I know this. I know him. I may run into him in the future, and I pray to God he doesn't see this video, because I'm picking against him for the second time in a row. It's just the knees, man. Like, I'm going to say the same thing as like when Joaquin Buckley fights Kamaru Usman. I think Buckley's actually going to beat him. I think Kamaru Usman's knees have a lot to do with it. I just think those are those kinds of injuries that as you get older as a man, it's a lot harder to go back to your full athletic self. It's going to be harder to stuff relentless takedowns attacks from a younger guy that is very, very strong. But here's the difference. He knew it was coming from Aljo. Aljo's a better takedown artist than Yusuf Zalal, I'll give him that. But you knew it was coming more. It was a lot more. It was still difficult to stop. And it's a different style of grappling, I know, but Yusuf Zalal actually, you know what? It is a little more similar than a lot of other traditional guys that just shoot double legs and single legs. Yusuf Zalal also is a guy that's going to try and get to the back. And I bet Kattar's working it. He's drilling it. But I think that Yusuf Zalal is going to be able to get it done. I think he's going to be able to get to the back, start to drag this fight to the ground, start to land on the feet. I think they're going to be very, very even on the feet, but the takedowns and the grappling is going to go to Yusuf Zalal, and that's what's going to win him these rounds. Picking Yusuf Zalal to win a decision here, man. I am. I like Calvin Kattar a lot, man, but I'm picking Yusuf Zalal by decision. And lastly, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. Obama's very good at fighting. At fighting and fighting only. Obama's a great fighter. Jared Cannonier is also a great fighter. Now, he lost his last two to Nasruddin Imavov by a dicey finish. He also lost to Caio Borralho, and he took a really hard 1-2 punch that sent him stiff to the floor, and then he just ate ground and pound until the end of the fight, pretty much. I think Cannonier's a better striker. I think the guys that Cannonier have fought are better than Rodrigues, and he got them in pretty tough fights. Cannonier took 2 rounds off of Bahalio. Cannonier took 2 rounds off of Imavov. I just, if he didn't take that terrible 1-2 from Kyle Bahalio and then eat a bunch of ground and pound, I'd say, I think he beats G-Rod. I think he does. But I think Gregory Rodrigues is good on the feet, and his grappling is very, very good. Better than anything Jared Cannonier's faced, at least anyone that tried to implement it. And we're finally starting to see Gregory Rodrigues go to implement his grappling more and more to win fights. I'm going to pick Gregory Rodrigues to get it done here. I think he might find a submission in round 3. I'm going to go with a submission in round 3 by Gregory Rodrigues. This sucks, dude, but I think it's the end of Cannonier. I really flirted with the idea of taking a Jared Cannonier pick here, being the fact that, dude, the last 2 guys he fought are better than Gregory Rodrigues. And I'm a huge Gregory Rodrigues fan. Don't get me wrong. Huge fan of this guy. The 2 guys he fought before are much better than Gregory Rodrigues. Bahalio has very good grappling as well. But Bahalio didn't really implement it. He was able to kind of strike and show his striking prowess against Jared Cannonier. And I think Gregory Rodrigues is also going to be able to show his striking prowess. He's bigger than Jared Cannonier. Doesn't have the same reach. He does get hit a lot. But I think when he starts to get hit, he does a good job of going to the grappling. I think Gregory Rodrigues is pretty solid fight IQ. It's developing. Granted, it's developing. But I think he's done better and better every fight. I like the amount of time he had off. Last he fought was in July. Last Cannonier fought was in August. So again, they both had a good amount of time off. But I think Gregory Rodrigues is going to be able to get it done here. I'm going Gregory Rodrigues to win by submission in round 3. I think he takes the back, and I think he gets a rear naked choke. These are the picks and predictions. It's going to be a good Apex card. Make sure you're tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe. Let's get these predictions going again.